Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. We're in St Mary's, Western Sydney today, and we're at the headquarters, the business headquarters of CVD Commercial Glass. And we've got the pleasure of being invited by the company's managing director, Chris van Dijk, to have a sneak peek at the factory and what goes on. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us along. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a feel for what does CVD Commercial Glass do? What market are you focused on, and I guess what products do you produce?
Yeah. So we're a commercial and residential aluminium window and door company.
Right.
We service the high-end luxury market for home builders.
Yeah.
We also service the commercial spaces such as retail, schools, government buildings, aged care, industrial units. We also do that. We've predominantly been doing large government schools for the last 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And shopping centres and retails for the last 15.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We offer a high-end tailored service to our clients.
Nice.
All our windows are Australian made. We manufacture them here. All the materials that we get are sourced from Australia.
Wow.
So we're proudly an Australian made company.
How good is that, right? Like I don't know, it's easy to get an assumption that, the windows and dressings and stuff that come on buildings all come from, far shores, right? So you make these windows and doors here in this factory, right?
Yes, we certainly do, yeah. Yep.
So an order comes in.
Yep.
Give us a feel for what happens after that order comes in terms of your factory.
Yep.
Let us walk through and get a feel, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good. So the order comes in, we're going to, a supply only job, we're going to just send straight to the source. I'll email the cutting sheets from my computer to the saw.
Right.
From anywhere, whether I'm at home or whether I'm in the factory, I can email this saw. So the boys can select on a job that they want to start cutting up.
Wow.
And away they go. They can select the metal, and all of a sudden that saw will move to where it's got to go. And then as long as that printer's on, which it is most of the time, as soon as they cut, it's going to print a label.
Right, so you know exactly what's happened to that piece of...
I know what item it is.
Yeah.
I know what part number it is. I know the length, and I know the date and the time it's been cut.
Yeah, right. So that's sort of the first step post the order coming in and...
Yeah, so we're going to send that over here after we've ordered the materials. So first we'll order the materials, and our supplier will deliver it in cases.
Yep.
Sometimes we get bundles.
Yep.
Obviously, at the time, we'll stack it on our racks or bring it in.
Yep.
As soon as that's ready to cut, it'll be picked up with the crane.
Yep.
Be put on the trestles, be cut, stored in the trolleys. So
right. So these are sort of the members of the windows forming up.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So this is a job we're doing at Bondi at the moment. So everything's been cut, and what will happen is the guys will then take it to the different stations to start fabricating and processing it.
So tell me, so what have we got going on?
So this is a couple of punching machines. So all the metal will go through the stations, pending what it is, and then it will get punched. So we've got machines that are run on air.
Right.
That are pretty much, they do notching out of the metal.
Yeah, okay.
So that we can then screw the frames together and fabricate.
So does this depend on the specs, or is this very similar to most?
So you've got different types of windows. So in this one here, you've got your bifold door. This one's your front glazed.
Yeah.
And then we've got other window sections along here, which is different commercial sliding doors.
So you've got a lot of ability to customise a different type of window you're offering.
That's right.
Yeah?
We've got a lot of different types of windows and doors that we offer. So we've got multiple different punching stations. So these are all our residential punches.
Yep.
And then this is the end milling machine, which we use for, whether it's commercial or domestic, you need to mill. So we've got two of these, and these come down, and we mill out the locks in the doors. So we mill out the aluminium section to fit the locks inside of it.
Yeah, okay.
So as you can see here, one of the punches would have already done the holes for the rails.
So those get done over there at the punching station?
Yeah, so these holes get done at one of the punching stations that you push it in and put your foot down, and now these are your screw holes. Our hardware here that's either job specific or, stock. So we've only just moved in here probably about 3 months ago, so we're still...
So it's a new warehouse for you?
New warehouse for us, so we're still trying to, have a gate to put everything in the right places. But what would happen is when the boys then cut, mill and punch the sections,
Yep.
they would then come to the hardware, and as you can see, each job is listed, and then the hardware for that job is stored here.
So hardware is, you know, your locks, as you said,
So
you know,
you've
your
got
handles.
your locks, your hinges, your rollers, your,
Yep.
your stops, your plastic bits and pieces that go together to make that window or door system.
It's very customised, isn't it?
Yes,
Eh?
yes.
Like, I'm sure you've got a system to make that efficient, right?
So we use a software program called the V6,
Yes.
and that's a fabricator software program. I've been using that now for the last 19 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Most certainly is.
All right, so we've punched it, we've got the holes in, we've got, you know, some of the spots for the hardware.
Yep.
Then where do we go from there?
Or then we'll, you know, we've got, so he's screwed a door together already, so he's put that together, he'll fit the hardware, he'll put protection tape on it,
Yeah, right.
and then he'll wrap it up, and then it goes out,
A lot of love happening there, Jeff, eh?
and it will go out and things will be stored up against the A-frame. This is a house at Hunters Hill,
Yeah.
and that will be going out tomorrow on the truck.
Wow, wow. So this is ready to assemble on
This
site.
is assembled. See, the notching's been done.
Yeah, right.
The rollers are in there.
Yep,
So these doors are now ready. They'll get loaded.
right.
They'll get shipped to site. The frames are over there, which will get screwed together and installed on site.
Right.
Then the doors will get put into place.
So how much of that on site does your company do versus the builder and others?
We do both.
Right.
So the builder gives me a structural opening.
Yep.
We supply and install the whole window and door system.
Yeah, so right from the raw material, the order, the spec, right through to the beautiful picture window in a house looking over the harbour at Hunters Hill,
Yeah,
for instance.
We do the whole lot.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Now, when I look in the mirror of the morning, I say to myself, not all glass is the same, right? Because I look 100%.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
eh? But is all glass the same? Like, is glass? Like, I'm interested to know, you know, what's special about glass, right?
Glass or windows?
Well, windows, yeah. Windows, glass for windows, yeah?
No, so you got many different elements. You got the aluminium, so you got the commercial grade, which is thicker. So that's obviously tested to higher specifications.
Yeah.
And then you've got different types of glass.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of residences, they only need at the moment float glass, which is not safety glass.
Yeah,
And that doesn't perform that well as well.
yeah, okay.
So you've got laminated, you've got toughened, you've got double glazed.
Yeah, so that's better. Is that better for heat and cold? Or?
Yeah, it definitely is. So
Yeah.
a double glazed unit will perform a lot better than a single pane of glass.
Yeah.
And pending the makeup, generally speaking, we like to use argon and not air.
Wow.
Argon's a gas. It's
That's
inserted in between.
So how it's formed?
Yeah. Well, you've got two panels of glass. They're glued together,
And you got gas in between.
and you've got gas in between. So
Really?
Yep. The double glazed unit.
That is.
That is.
And what are they going to be used for?
So
these
these ones are awning windows.
ones? Okay.
These are sliding windows.
Yeah, and that's got gas in between. hasn't
That's got gas in between. So you can see the aluminium spacer, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that aluminium part.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's in between, and then they've filled it with gas and sealed the unit off.
it? Right, and why?
Because what happens is when the heat comes through or hit the argon gas, it'll cool down and then comes through the window. I like to call it energy coming into the building
Yes.
through the heat,
Yeah, yeah.
and energy leaving the building so energy coming in through the summer and energy leaving in the winter. So it's going to cost you less to cool your house in summer because you're not getting as much heat come through, and it's going to cost you less to heat your house in winter because you're not
Losing as much.
you're not
Yeah.
losing. So the big thing is a lot of people don't want to spend that upfront cost on their windows of their house to gain that money back in 5, 6, 10, 15 years' time.
Yeah.
When you spend the money at the start on double glazed units with high performance windows, you might not get that back in the first few years, but over time, you're going to spend less on your electricity, and considering electricity is continually going up, it's definitely a worthwhile
Worthwhile
investment.
considering.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, thank you for giving us a run through.
Yep.
Is there anything we've missed?
No, look, I don't think so. We do have a small display, but it's not really up. But feel free to come up. I want to show you. Happy to show you the boardroom is where
yeah.
we want to do a bit of training.
So that's...
a bit of a display that we've got at the moment while we're still currently...
So sliding doors?
Yeah, well, we've got a sliding window, altitude sliding window. We've got a ViewMax sliding window. So they're two different types because of the handles.
Yeah, yeah.
This one also lets you span higher as well.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of awning windows here.
Oh, yeah, so the ones that
wind open.
Out. Yeah.
Obviously a fixed window. Then we've got your casement, your louver.
Yes, there's quite a variation depending on style. I guess, you know, clients and architects and draftsmen and others would be specifying different looks and feels in terms of what they want to see.
Of course, airflow.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything.
You got a security? Is that a security?
Yeah, so that's just a screen door.
Yep.
It's not an InvisiGuard screen, but we do those. That's just a nice screen door.
Yeah.
But we're currently constructing our showroom in Caringbah at the moment. So
that's going to give you a lot more potential, right?
That's correct. This is where we conduct obviously our meetings, our training.
Yeah.
We've got first aid training coming up on Monday, so the whole team will come in.
Yeah, nice.
And undertake that. Any industry-specific training as well.
Yeah.
We've also, just so you know, we've also been featured in Built View magazine from the Australian Glass and Window Association. So that's one of our projects.
Wow.
That we did out at
Where's that?
St Luke's Grammar School, DY.
Gee, look at it.
And then obviously they wanted to do a bit of a write-up because I've got that going around on the bus in Penrith.
Yeah, nice.
One on the back of in Katoomba.
I'm training, you tell me.
Massively. I think it's so important to be able to train your staff the right way and to make sure that you stand out from the rest. Because why would you want to spend more money with me when you can get it from somebody else cheaper, unless I can offer you something that other people can't?
Yeah, I like that.
Being a fabricator and an installer, and I know the systems inside and out, but also because of the way that my team conduct themselves professionally and how they install. We're water testing our sills, we're taking these extra steps, filling in ITPs, protection tapes. We're doing all these extras that a lot of other people don't do, especially protection tape on your windows and doors.
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes a big difference.
It makes you stand out from the crowd, right?
Of course, yeah.
Chris, I want to thank you for taking us around
Yeah.
and showing us your headquarters here.
Yep.
And I think we're going to leave it there, right? I think that's a wrap because we're going to go a lot deeper than that.
Yep.
So I'd ask the audience to join us on the Let's Talk Business podcast, wherever you find the best podcasts, because we're going to go deep with Chris van Dijk and get his insights and learnings in part of his journey as he built this business. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, James.